Fucking OBS. Goddamn fucking OBS. All right, so it says we're live there.
It looks like we're up over here on my. I'm watching the stream.
Says we're live there. Yeah, but you'll see it drop out for a second. And
Oh
then
no, it dropped out at the intro. Now it's back up. It looks like.
God love fucking OBS sometimes. I fucking swear. Then again, you know what? It does look like I am going to end up investing in that Stream Deck just to make shit even easier.
I would also suggest doing restream. You can narrow it down to just one channel as well.
Well, so the free version of Restream does just one channel, but here's the issue: is what just happened there is when I switched to the normal display, it switched to the normal display and stopped the stream at the same time. So I had to hit start streaming again on OBS. The motherfucker. But you'll get a kick out of this. For the entirety of our streaming so far, OBS has stayed in the green and no drop frames. So what the fuck? What the fuck? Why did it have to screw up during the Star Trek show? Oh, wait. I know why. Because it was the first episode of a brand new show on this channel.
I was going to say, we didn't have Scotty with us today.
You know, and I kind of thought the air of the German engineering would just radiate from Geostreber to help offset that. I was wrong.
Pretty much.
So, as you all can see, there is kind of a point to this show. A little bit. Just picking up where we left off before I had that wonderful excursion last night over to NonSeq. So who here has seen how that wonderful smoldering fire of a dipshit ended up going?
Yeah, just finished watching
it.
Yeah, I watched the whole fucking thing. Sober.
So I was the only one smart enough to leave when I had the chance, huh?
Well,
I had no choice.
I know you didn't. I was talking about everybody else.
Well, I fell asleep last night, so I just finished watching it on. Fortunately, I had the option of watching it at 1.5 speed.
It didn't help, did it?
It sped the stupid up.
So, how many times did we have to ask him the same question only for him to not answer it?
About every 30 seconds for 2.5 hours, I thought it was.
Oh, Andy, I am with you. My head is still hurting a bit, but thankfully it's not because of the stupid at this point, it's because of the hangover. And I thought the quick ride I just took before going live would help. Nope. No, because I was stuck behind some slow fucking jackass on the highway who had no goddamn clue where he wanted to go. So, as I accelerate to go around the wonderful, wonderful person from out of state, I start hearing a rattling as the engine is running. And taking a look, it's not the exhaust. Which realistically leaves one of two things. Anyone want to venture a guess?
Chain?
No, the chain was actually still fine. And that, actually, I have the replacement right over there. So, here's the thing. It was only at high speed. So, actually, you know what? It potentially could be the chain. Potentially. But what service was just done?
You had a clutch put in, right?
Well, no, they didn't replace the clutch pack. They checked and adjusted the valves and the timing belts and set the tension for that. They didn't notice anything about the clutch, But I get to go through and take a look at through the records of when the last time the clutch was done.
Never?
Oh, I literally got back into the house about 10 minutes before we started streaming, so I haven't gone to grab my binder yet to start taking a look through.
How many miles are on this bike?
A little over 11,000.
Oh shit, that's nothing.
Yeah, except
It's Italian.
it's a Ducati. It gets the valve check every 6,000. And it should, I'm trying to remember the interval. That's another thing I need to look up for what it expects for the clutch basket. Oh, Fino doesn't know what AfterShow this is about. Should we admonish him for not knowing, or praise him as a god for not knowing?
Punish him.
I say he dodged a bullet.
So, Fino, this is the after show for my most recent appearance on the Non Sequitur show, where we had the pleasure, in a masochistic sort of way, of having a discussion with the guy who runs the YouTube channel, Why You Are an Idiot, which should be renamed Why I Am an Idiot.
Do you have any idea how many times during that stream I just wanted to reach through the screen and say, "Here's your sign"?
Uh-huh.
Every 5 seconds.
Just about.
Or how about him accepting and understanding that ratios are constant, but still wanted to say that they didn't work at large numbers?
For reasons. Because he doesn't trust math.
Yeah.
Because it might not work.
It's not that it might not work. He said the direct freaking quote, which he did not like that I pointed this out to him, is every time he mentioned math, before I started calling him out on this, he said it was a false premise, but would never actually explain why or how it is a false premise.
Because he says it is, and that's why.
And that is why people like that should be removed from the gene pool. But apparently he has quite the raging... I'm not even going to call him MGTOW. He is a raging incel who actually has a video basically supporting physical and emotional abuse of women just because they deserve it. Yeah. Oh, Fino, this one would be about as painful, and I would say slightly more painful because of the air of condescension mixed with civility. It was last night on NonSeq, myself against Why You Are an Idiot, and it started out with Kyle and Steve as hosting and moderating. Kyle had to go, so we ended up getting someone else in. Honestly, the name slips me right now. And then we even had an appearance from Red, because this guy said that he sent Red a message on Facebook, of all places. Here's the kicker. Red doesn't fucking use Facebook at all, ever.
I think he'd also claimed at one point that somewhere that he'd sent him a message on Discord.
Yeah, if he mentioned Discord, again, Red was on Discord for a whopping 8 days. And then said, yeah, fuck this, I don't like the interface. Red pill philosophy without the cussing. Yeah. That is a very good way to describe it. And it was to the point that I didn't so much enjoy getting drunk on movie night immediately following. It was a necessity for me to get that drunk. Why? Why do I subject myself to these idiots?
Because it's fun.
Sometimes. I will admit that, yes, sometimes it is.
'Cause you-
That fellow's grasp of math was so poor, it made me wonder if he was capable of counting his nose without taking off his shoes.
Well, it's funny you mention that because when we finally got him to actually start responding to the question of why is math a false premise, he went to talking about how a friend of his was doing some basic algebra and trig homework, and he read the question. It had to do with the height of a tree. You're this distance away. The tree is at this angle. What's the height of the tree? And this motherfucker decided to go outside with absolutely nothing to do any actual goddamn fucking measurements and look at a tree and go, well, that's fucking absurd. You can't do that.
I got a 35-foot antenna that or a 35-foot tower that my TV antenna is sitting on top of. This tower was here when I bought the property. Do you know how I know it's 35 feet tall? Here's a hint. I didn't climb it with the tape measure.
Probably measured it by the shadow.
Well, that
Actually, no. I stepped it off. I knew what 6 foot was on it, and I stepped it off. And it's about 35 feet, give or take a foot or two, but close enough. And I stepped it off, and all stepping it off is just a roundabout way of using trig.
yeah. It was one of those things where I actually did have people commending me for how patient I was at the beginning, and I will characterize it this way. This is my mentality when going into that sort of discussion with someone, whether the topic is flat earth or some other potential stupidity. I'm going to let them speak. I'm going to keep giving them the rope. It's like, oh, you want more rope? Here you go. I will let them take a couple miles of rope and see what they do with it. At every payout of more rope, this guy decided to just start looping it around his neck.
Over and over and over again.
Fino, yes. So he asked, is that like the military joke with the enlisted trying to climb the fucking flagpole and then the NCO lifts it out of the socket and lays it down to measure its length? Pretty much.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I have to say, in the first Captain America movie, that was a beautiful representation of it.
Yeah, that was. I'm gonna have to go watch that movie now.
Well, and speaking of the MCU, here's a question. How political was Captain Marvel?
Haven't
Not
watched it.
very.
Well, by political, I mean feminist equality agenda.
None. Non-existent.
Okay. Okay, so how bad was Brie Larson's acting? Normal
Don't
or
know.
worse?
Didn't watch. Didn't watch it yet. I haven't seen it appear online. So until I see it pop up in places that I usually watch, yeah.
I probably won't see it just because Captain Marvel's not a character that I ever followed. So I really don't have a desire to see it.
There
The
have
only reason why I'll watch it is because of the fact that it's a long story arc throughout the movies. That's the only reason why I'm going to watch it.
yeah, there are people, and it is a plausible rationale and reason behind it, because there is that intertwining nature to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that sometimes you kind of have to watch them, even if they are subpar. Black Panther.
Hey now, better be careful. They might come after you for that.
You know, I understand the message that some of them are trying to garner from it, but at the same time, let's be real here. Judge. Oh, 1 second.
Jared's vibrator went off.
Dinner's ready. I will be right back, so it doesn't burn.
That means pizza delivery, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd you guess?
Just some fact from the Star Trek show. I knew he had nobody else in the house.
Remember to tip your delivery driver.
Delivery fee is not a tip.
Oh, hell.
Say, hell, I only use places that do free delivery.
I just got an email from, I don't know, something or the other that trying to sell me crap, and it said free world delivery. So does that mean that it's going to deliver the world for free, or is it only delivering to the free world?
That doesn't count America then.
Oh.
Like to see them deliver it to the South Pole.
Yeah, that'd be a trick.
Where's Geistview when we need him?
There you go.
You know, speaking of the Penguin, he can come join the panel if he is out and about, but he's only back for a short while. So he's kind of in the same boat as you are, you wish, to where he's using mobile data for his internet.
Yeah, it's gonna suck if he's like me and limited to how much he actually has.
Well, it's also the area and the coverage. Actually, Schrodinger's cat is one of the few not in here right now. Hey, Fino? Fino? Do not say that name too many times. He may get wind of it and show up. Although, I am about to dive into some bacon toppings, so...
Bacon.
Is there anything it can't do?
With bacon.
Sadly, I would say the answer to that is world peace. And that's because certain cultures don't eat pig.
You mean certain religions?
It's not just the religion. There is the cultural aspect to it around it. Because, believe it or not, atheism is actually growing in the historically Muslim predominant regions. It's just, if they're too open about it, they tend to get killed due to Sharia law.
Yeah.
Bacon. Nice one, Alan.
Big
I thought I would share.
Since Jared's not, yeah.
Well, I got plenty if any of you fuckers want to come over. It's just, it might be kind of cold or eaten by the time you get here.
You're an asshole. I can smell that through the headphones.
You know, with how much I've been doing today, I kind of got into that mold where I quite literally forgot to eat earlier.
That just comes with age.
Oh, no, I've had that habit for a while, where if I get working on something, I will ignore what time it is and just keep working the issue, and then I start getting frustrated, and it's like, wait a minute, what time is it? Why am I... Fuck, I'm hungry.
Yep. I'm afraid I'm going to make myself hypoglycemic doing that shit. Because I usually don't realize it until my blood sugar starts crashing.
It is tasty, though. No, you are not having a piece. Frickin' dogs.
Big puppy dog eyes.
Well, the thing is, it's the tubby one that everyone else always gives into, and it's like, no, she is not starving. Don't believe her.
That sounds like my dog.
And some dogs can pull it off. And don't get me wrong, she is cute enough, which is why she gets away with it with a lot of other people. But with me, it's like, I know better.
Yeah, I got a couple dogs like that in my house right now too.
I mean, well, Eric, did you watch the wonderful display last night on NonSeq?
Yes.
And how much were you ripping your hair out?
I was just joking the whole time in the YouTube chat. It's just like,
Oh, it's one of those moments that's pretty much all you can do.
yeah. It's like,
I'm surprised you were banging your head against the wall.
so over there making comments like, oh, it's pretty easy to not accept anything when you don't understand how anything works.
This is
Which is really what it came down to. So.
No, Eric, it wasn't not understand. It was refuse to believe.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's easy to reject anything when you don't understand how anything works. I mean, yeah, he refuses, but he still doesn't understand, and therefore it makes it really easy just to reject everything. Because
There's a guy.
Go ahead.
So there was a guy in the Discord the past couple of days. Right the hand.
Oh yeah.
He actually refuses to know. Either that or he's just a plain troll, which is where I think he was really going with that. At least the guy last night, he was more ignorant than refusing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Those two people tied at the hip.
I'm sorry.
Although there are people putting around that Right the Hand and Dawn are the same person.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't think they are, though.
There's a question for you in the chat.
I
Is
like
that a new-
basically, yeah, it is. It fits.
It's got to be one of the more simple designs for a Transformer, too.
That was like it. Big Bong's Labs comment there worked for last night. triangles don't work above size 6.
And here I am doing this instead of doing what I need to be doing, which is packing for my trip.
When are you leaving for the trip?
Monday afternoon, 1:45.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
Oh, hell no, I don't. I got to figure out how to pack up 3 rods, 3 reels, my traveling tackle bag, which is essentially a marine-sized gear pack. The one that weighs 80 pounds when fully loaded.
Oh, the Alice pack.
Yes. Thank you. I've been a little inebriated since the earlier shit show you had, Jared. You know, I mean, like I said, when I asked in chat, you know, if I needed to reserve an emergency room or room, I literally meant that.
And I told you it was a relaxed one. It was entirely your choice.
It was not that. I had to be drunk to understand GeoStreamer. No offense to Geo. God love the man, but I got to be drunk to understand him.
But so fishing trip with or without camping?
Without. I'll probably, if I do anything, I'll probably end up crashing at my dad's. He lives like 10 minutes away from Lake Athens, which is my primary, when I'm down in Texas, that is my absolute go-to bank fish lake. That is the one I don't have to worry about a boat. I don't have to worry about life preservers or anything else. I just go sit on the bank, throw my line in, reel it back in, throw it back out, reel it back in, throw it back out, you know. And usually I end up hooking into some pretty nice fish. The largest one I pulled out of there was like 5.5, pushing that.
Fair enough. You
Yeah,
driving or flying or what?
Taking a Greyhound bus because I'm going to be driving a company car after I get down there. Hey, company cars are nice. I don't have to pay for the insurance. I don't have to pay for the gas except what I use away from work. So, yeah, I'm good.
So you got you got tubes to put your rods in?
That's what I got to go get tomorrow.
Well,
I'm putting all of that in my sea bag. I've got to figure out which rods I can actually pack in my sea bag before I can do anything else. And Jared's like, "Oh God, you actually still have your sea bag?"
Oh no, no, I still have mine. I'm just doing the mental Tetris right now, where with how many rods you said? 3?
3.
Do you leave the reels attached or do you take them off?
You have to take them off.
Okay.
Because they're just going in one. They're going in one tube. I know which tube I need to go get tomorrow, and it's the. Oh God, I'd have to look at the dimensions. I looked at it earlier online, and I didn't remember them. I know what the price of the tube's going to run. It's going to run me $39.99 plus tax.
Wait, are you doing a legit transporting tube or are you making it yourself?
No, I'm doing a legit pre-made transport tube. I'm tool poor in. Okay, listen. Let's all get one understanding straight. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so when it came to mathematics, God left me out. Okay, but I'm smart enough to understand that there are people smarter than me and that I should actually listen to them. Which places me on a step above flat earthers.
Way above flat earthers.
I mean, would you not agree with that, Jared? I mean, because I know I'm not.
I would.
I know I'm not smart.
I would, and that's the thing is, knowing and being honest about your accepted and known limitations is step one.
Which is
They-
of Orphan Red.
Yeah, they don't even get there.
You know, I've taken the Mensa IQ challenge and passed it. And I will fully admit in public right now, and I'm not even looking at chat, I'm playing Hearthstone while talking to you guys. Okay. Yes, I'm doing a video game because I'm trying to get my mind off of actually having to do actual work.
So
God knows,
being a
God
typical
knows,
Tron.
yeah, being a typical JonTron, yes. Except without having to yell, "What the fuck?"
You guys see Beaver's video on Orphan Red tonight?
Oh,
I have his
no,
video
not
up.
yet.
I just haven't played it yet.
Not yet.
Oh my God,
Not
it's
yet.
funny.
Yeah, and apparently,
I may or may not duck out tonight just to go watch that because I watched Orphan Red's Mensa acceptance thing that she posted several days ago. You know, and she was not wearing her porn kills shirt. And all I could think about was last night's Veterans Talk. And how the fact that when she was wearing that porn kills loves shirt. Here's the thing, and this goes directly out to Orphan Red, and I will debate her on this all day long. Porn does not kill love. Love is something different than sex. Porn kills the desire for sex with just one person. That is what porn kills. It doesn't kill love because you can have love for just about anybody. Because love is a chemical reaction in the brain. Now, you get to be my age where your dick quits working and you got to take a little blue pill, and the doctors are hesitant because your cholesterol's sky high and you smoke like a freight train and drink like a fish.
are we getting an insight?
Yes, you're getting insight. My wife, if it were not for my left hand, my wife would not be satisfied. Because my dick is broke.
For a second there, I thought you were talking to my fucking doctor.
When you hit 45 and you're a guy, your dick suddenly stops working. You quit thinking with the second brain because it dies.
Now, my second brain hasn't died, but it has.
You want to say that a little louder, babe?
Now, my second brain hasn't died, but it sure has learned how far pretty is going to get you. Yeah, that ain't very far.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing was that, you know, Jared, the thing about MGTOW that we were talking about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's my take on MGTOW. There is the incel MGTOW, and then there is the player. Okay. The player's the guy that's got the inside track to the blue pill. Okay. And when I say the blue pill, I don't mean the political pill or the reality pill or whatever you want to call it. It's the Viagra. Get your Viagra. Did you guys ever play Dear Avenger?
No.
Oh God. One of the calls on Deer Avenger. And if you hear my wife laughing in the background, it's because she knows where I'm going with this. Hang on a second, I'll let her say it. Viagra, get your Viagra. Did y'all hear that?
Oh my god.
There are 3 calls in the original game. Viagra, get your Viagra is one of them. The second one is who wants some free Molly Hatchet tickets, concert tickets. And the third one is a woman going, oh, I have a pizza and I'm naked. The first time I'm playing Deer Avenger, the original one, I'm sitting there going, holy cow. So I kept mashing the call button. And if you mash it so many times in 30 seconds, the deer will go, hey, I'm scaring the morons off. Quit. So, there is a modicum of AI to the game, even though it's kind of a scroll center shooter, where you can just turn left and right and look straight ahead and shoot at the rednecks as they run in front of you. It is the epitome of gaming revenge on a specific game.
I will have to see if I can get my hands on that.
Oh my god, if you can get your hands on that, I would love a copy of that. I would love to have that just to say, yeah, I've got it. Because my older brother lost his copy, and it happened to be the copy that I gave him after I bought it and put it on my computer. I let him have it to put on his computer. He was supposed to give it back to me. And he moved from Mineral Wells, Texas, down to Waco, Texas, and lost it in that move.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, no, it gets even worse because we think we know where it was at. When he moved into this house that we moved him into, we called it the rat house. And it literally was a rat house. It was a house that was almost 100 years old. It was all wood construction.
I'm about ready to fall apart.
It was, the second story was not safe. Okay? You would walk around on the second story and you would go, good God, where are the supports at? The supports had been rotted out and eaten out by termites long ago. So we stored everything, all of his stuff, in the garage. The only thing we didn't store in the garage were his shotguns. Those were staying with my father in Midlothian. 3 months after he moved into the house, they went to town and they came back to the house, and the house was on fire. All of his riding reels, all of his fishing tackle, all of his computers, everything.
Oh, that sucks.
Up in flames. And it was an electrical short because the wiring had not been redone in the house since 1968.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But the house was rat infested. I mean, he set out rat traps every night, and he would have to go empty them out every hour, literally. He said he'd just get to doze off really good, and he'd hear that snap where a rat had been caught. And I've lived, I've my wife, like my wife said, we've been there. We lived in a house that, we had freaking snakes crawling up through the holes chasing rats. We had rat snakes. I shot a copperhead in the house one day.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And we lived probably 60 yards from a creek. In fact, if you guys want to pull up Google Earth, I'll tell you exactly where to look at. It's Wildwood Drive, Mesquite, Texas. It is literally, if you look on the west side of that street, all the houses there back up to it's either Mustang Creek or Mesquite Creek, but it's all along Pascal Park. Which is where I intend on taking Father Skeptic when I get down there next week. Because I'm gonna drag him out and take him fishing.
Gotta love this. We're talking about one thing on the panel. The chat's talking about something completely different.
Yeah, well, that's the way these chats work, Jared. I mean, I've been a moderator. I've been a moderator for 4 months now, and it's been that way since. It's been that way since I've been joining these things, anyway. But that's the beautiful thing about Veterans Talk is that we can talk just about everything.
Well, and that was the purpose behind it. It was just to have that relaxed, occasional topic orientated chat, but really just a relaxed.
Well, when I first found you guys over a year ago, okay, and when I first started watching you guys over a year ago, you guys really walked in at a point in time where I really needed the help. And that's one thing I got to say thank you for.
Yeah. And that was the
So
other.
You guys were there, even though you didn't know you were there. I realized, hey, there are guys out there actually thinking about the same thing I'm thinking about. Cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we want to build that community aspect because that really is the biggest thing, and that's why with Fridge Guy we ended up spending as much time with him as we did to
That's the reason why I jumped in with Fridge Guys, because I was in that darkness. I've been in that darkness. I've seen that darkness. I've seen the holes in the walls that I've put in. I've lost it a couple of times. I mean, I'll be flat out honest. I mean, there were days when I first got out, I didn't know how to see straight in the civilian world. And there are days, even to this day, there are still days, I don't know how to think outside of military think.
I remember my first couple of jobs. I'd get into a pissing contest with somebody, and what I wanted to say was, "Ain't no rank behind the tank," and that's what we used to say. And you got a problem, you got a beef, and the rank comes off, gets set on the fender. You go back behind the maintenance shed. You take care of business. Just the two of you, no spectators. And then when it's done, you come back and you put your rank back on, and it's over. That shit don't work in the civilian world. I didn't know how to function for the first year or two. Had one idiot thump me in the chest. I didn't last in that job very long.
I transitioned fairly easily, but just working in IT, there's a lot of ex-military people in IT, and most of my skills were translatable easily to the civilian world, so generally didn't have much of a problem transitioning out. So
I was quite lucky when I came out. I went to university, and there were 2 other ex-Royal Air Force guys in my year doing most of my courses. So plenty of mutual support there.
When I got out, I applied for unemployment. And the gal is reading through the questionnaire, and she said, "What was your last job?" And I said, "I was in the military." And she said, "What did you do in the military?" And I said, "Tank crewman." And she says, "If we could find you a job as a tank crewman, would you be willing to take it?"
She had a clue.
I was like, good luck with that. And she blinked, and then she looked at me dead in the eye, and she said, if we could find you a job as a tank crewman, would you be willing to take it? And then she mimed nodding her head. And I said, yes. So yeah, I worked. Oh shit. When I was getting out, the Marine Corps Times had a. They showed what the pay was for your MOS. Various rank, average rank of whatever MOS you are, and its comparable civilian counterpart. And there were only 3 ranks in the Marine Corps that did not have civilian counterparts: infantry, artillery, and tanks. So
Yeah, that
That
kind
doesn't
of...
that doesn't really surprise me.
No, it doesn't, because there are a number of jobs in the military that, unfortunately, are military specific.
Yeah.
yeah,
But isn't
Mm.
infantry, artillery, and tanks
Yeah,
pretty
you're
much
just gonna stand
the
there and
U.S.
strip in
Marine
front of
Corps?
me.
what's that? Say again, Alan.
Isn't infantry, artillery, and tanks pretty much it for the U.S. Marine Corps? Oh, I forgot. You do have a few airplanes as well, don't you?
Yep,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have the air wing.
That'd be the bulk of both the Marine Corps and the Army, really.
Yeah,
Especially infantry.
the Marine Corps got an air wing for every division.
I know you love me too.
So, but yeah, the as far as ground combat forces, yeah, infantry, artillery, tanks. That's it. So, and and the Marine Corps is very infantry heavy. Artillery wise, there's probably there's 1 regiment per division, and only 1 battalion of tanks per division. And that was when I was in, and now it's even lower than that. But yeah, I bounced from, I cleaned grocery store floors, I busted tires, worked warehouse jobs, rode a driver on big rigs, did a bunch of different stuff before the doc finally said, you know what? We don't think you need to be doing that shit anymore.
Yeah, sometimes you get that and it's like, well, fuck.
Hey, I know
Yeah.
the state of Texas. I know the state of Texas has already told me I don't need to be driving, but that's what happens when you don't pay your surcharges on your DWI for 5 years.
Yeah, I could see that being a problem.
Little bit.
Yeah. So I've been driving around on an expired license for almost 2 years now.
Ooh.
That's no gooder. That's no gooder. I've learned the hard way that there are only 2 things that do not drop off of your record.
DWIs and felonies.
Non-felony things. There are only 2 things that do not drop off your driving record: DUI and driving without a license.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 never drop off your record. Everything else drops off after 3 years, except for those 2.
Avoid my state. That's just a word of warning.
Yeah, because they see out-of-state plates, they think, ooh, Target.
Well, more than that, driving without a license, or more importantly, driving on a suspended license or a revoked license, is actually a misdemeanor charge in this state. They will incarcerate you for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just about anywhere though. I mean, they'll do that here in Missouri.
Yeah. Well, not all states will, but my state, it's
No.
like a minimum 6 month.
Yeah.
That's for a first offense.
hmm Which is why I'm paying my surcharge as soon as I get back to Dallas. I got to go to the DMV in Dallas and change everything over so I can actually claim I'm living in Dallas. Because let's face it, trying to take the driving exam at 46 in Missouri, you never get to pass it if you've got a DWI on your record.
You don't even get
They
Hmm.
they won't pass you. They will fail you during the driving portion of the exam. They will give you a learner's permit, but that's it.
How can they legally get away with that?
It's
They
Missouri.
will they because the state driving instructor or the inspector that does the driving portion of the test will be notified that you are going to get your license after being suspended for a DWI. And they will come back and they will fail you for any little reason. And you don't even have to, you can do perfect during the exam. They will not pass you, which is why I'm going back to Texas.
Well, again, driving is not a right; it's a privilege, though.
Yes.
That's why they legally can get away with it.
Well, he's ahead of the curve. At least he's actually trying to get it back rather than spending his time arguing that he's traveling and stuff.
True.
No.
No.
Please God, no, because if you look up William Windsor versus Joey as a little kid online, I'm actually part of that fucking lawsuit that he wasted, God knows, I think it was like 4 years of life killing trees for the amount of paper that dude filed against me and the supposed 1,000 other plaintiffs in the 1,000 other defendants in the case. Here's what I did. I followed my lawyer's advice. Don't respond to it. You live out of state. If anything, go to the court, claim the jurisdictional boundary of being out of state. Make him go to Missouri instead of filing it all in one civil action in Texas. Well, he didn't want to file it out of state, so he filed it all in one civil action in Texas and ended up losing his shirt to the judge down there. But
Well, yeah, because that is one thing about Texas judges. If they see someone trying to pull something like that is just outright bullshit,
yeah,
they are going to make it hurt.
yeah. I mean, he made himself a public figure, open to public scrutiny. This was one thing he failed to understand this.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can't jurisdiction shop on, and that's what he figured he could do.
Well, now, was it failure or just rejection?
As far as which court, because he took it to 2.
Well, no, is him choosing to do it, was it because he was legitimately ignorant of it, or was he trying to pull a fast one and just
He was
failed?
trying. He's okay. Have you ever heard of the phrase vexatious litigant?
It's not ringing a bell.
Okay. He had been declared in Georgia by the federal courts in Georgia as a vexatious litigant.
So I'm guessing it's going to be a term where the person is notoriously bringing up frivolous lawsuits with no foundation.
Ding, 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 ding.
Multiple. No, this dude had no less than 3 previous cases against a federal judge, a state district judge, and a state district clerk.
Keep going after judges. That'll work well for you.
So he got certified as a vexatious litigant. So before he could even file the lawsuit against myself, and the other bloggers on Joey as a little kid, and Jared, because Piggy knows my name and knows how to look my name up, you can verify that I was actually part of this lawsuit because Piggy has my amateur radio call sign somewhere.
Mm.
I know he does, and all you got to do is look it up on QRZ.com. You can get my address, my name, everything but my phone number. But yeah, just that's out enough to dox me. Needless to say. Windsor had to go to the federal courts in the Dallas district to get permission to file his lawsuit in Waxahachie, Texas, against myself and these 1,000 other commenters on this blog. And he was suing us for $1 million apiece.
Wow.
Jeez. And
I'm
You
kind of
gotta-
like, my only comment was, I'm surprised he hasn't named me in the litigation. Because he had named it against, my comments were against the primary target of the blog, who was Joey Dobbin. Okay? My only comments were against him and his felony conviction.
so, Jay,
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard my response to that
Yes,
one.
I did.
And that was just from the headline alone.
Oh, I have the story pulled up too.
Oh,
What story? What story?
Hold on a second. I'll just flash it on the screen, and you all can
I
have fun
will.
with it.
I will
Well,
read the headline.
don't just flash it. My eyes are bouncing enough. I'm not able to focus on anything.
So I will
Okay.
read the headline for you. Georgetown students vote to raise tuition to pay slavery reparations.
Oh, jeez.
On
Wait a minute.
Thursday,
and then they're gonna be next year crying about tuition charges.
oh yeah, because here it is. On
Do
Thursday,
you
students
see
at
the
Georgetown
circle?
University voted to raise tuition at the school by $27.20 per semester to provide reparations to descendants of 272 slaves owned and later sold by the school in the 1800s.
Wow.
The vote is part of a non-binding student
Oh,
referendum.
God,
Approximately
nice one.
66% of the students voted in favor.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna mute
It's
myself so I
non-binding.
can yell at. I gotta yell at my oldest.
But on the lighter side of news,
Yeah, see, I saw this and I'm wondering, so what's the problem?
there's no problem with it. There's stories about how they the Oakley
I'm
Doakleys
having listened to
were
veterans
played the closing credits of the most recent Simpsons episode last Sunday.
Oh, nifty.
Oh, so
Oh, Jared. By the way, you're about to pick
holding
up.
a good way then.
Oh,
You're about
here's the video.
I'm
I'll
about to
throw
what?
the link to this in there.
Jared's about to pick up a 16-year-old subscriber.
Hopefully they
Run.
know what's going on.
Well, I mean, you got to understand he's directly related to me as I am his father. So yeah.
Oh, so he's already messed up. We don't have to worry about it then.
Oh yeah, he's already fucked up beyond all belief. Okay, Fubar is a step below where he's at. He's Fubabbed.
Nice.
He's fucked up beyond all belief.
Well, so quick programming note. As of right now, in about an hour, we are going to be live on Red's Rhetoric's channel to advertise and help push his latest rocket launch video to as many views as fucking possible.
Oh, dude, that was fucking sweet. Did you guys watch that yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, man,
That's
that was
amazing.
that was orgasmic.
Oh,
That was dick in hand orgasmic.
I was the first one to watch it after it was edited.
And they're still going to naysay it. You watch.
Well, I mean, it super glued the G key on my keyboard, so you know. I mean,
Well, so here's the thing. So Jay, do you have the page up for that one? Because so earlier today, Red called me, and the video was at 108,000 views, which is where he and I discussed and decided, yeah, we're gonna do the live stream on his channel, which I will be a part of, to really push it as far as possible. At the time, 108,000 views. 2 hours later, he called me again and was like, holy shit, it's already over 122,000. And then not even 2 hours after that, we were in the 130s.
well, yeah, but his camera angle was better than most of the professional news media outlet
Well, that's at
camera
150
angles
now.
out there.
God damn, we're getting like close to 10,000.
152.
We're getting close to 10,000 views an hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, scroll down. There's a pinned comment there.
Where'd you pin a comment at?
Oh no, Red pinned my comment on the video.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I'm not.
Hey!
Listen, it's all my computer can do to maintain a connection to Hearthstone. So yeah.
So I will go ahead and read it out. Wow. Sean Hufford may have a more historic launch to his name, but there's something about this one that just tops it. Is it the superior visual quality? Is it the outstanding work to maintain the continuous shot? Is it the erection-inducing badassery from decades of work by actual intelligent people doing actual scientific and engineering pursuits, keeping us from stumbling back into the intellectual dark ages? Nah, it's the culmination of all of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, the next time you talk to Red, you can tell him, I said thanks for for giving me such visual effect that I shot a load all over my G key on my keyboard.
Well,
because that was orgasmically beautiful. I mean, it was just there's something about that was just tremendously awesome to just watch. I'm pretty sure when I show my wife later, it'll make her pussy wet, but that's besides the point.
Well, yeah, but then
The
again, you'll have...
Falcon X had the heavy launch where they send up the 3 booster rockets.
Yeah.
They recaptured 2 of them almost simultaneously together, and Red's Rhetoric has it on his channel.
Oh my god.
And
no, like I said, when I said it super glued my G key, it literally was that orgasmic to watch. It sends chills down your body just to watch that.
Just thinking about
Oh no. Hey, Jared, can you pop that up? One of you guys pop that up on the video and just let us watch the last, like 30 seconds of it where we catch the twin booster rockets coming back.
They actually caught all 3, The third one, the center booster, traveled further than the outer boosters. Yeah, but that one they got 2 on the barge.
I only saw the last 2. I mean, I was basically full blown orgasm at that point. I mean, when they were coming back down.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right at the wide angle. When it starts into the wide angle, right there.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, is that not the most?
my gosh.
I mean, is that not the most coolest?
Hold on, don't we need
the
the sound effects on it too?
Well,
No, we don't need. She can't hear the sound because I have my earpieces in. But yeah.
Yeah, that and if you,
That's
I have a
unbelievable.
feeling we're going to be showing
I mean, is
parts or
that
all
not-
of it
that
on
is-
that stream in an
Oh my
hour.
God.
My wife's over here having an orgasm. She's got to go. She's got to go relieve herself in another room because she doesn't want to hear her moan.
Yeah, YouTube might not like that.
What was that sound effect, Jared? Oh God! Oh God!
But yeah, so the center stage was out at the barge, and just imagine if you were in a position where you could have one camera one direction and capture the boosters, and then turn around the other direction and then catch the center stage.
Oh no shit!
Well,
That
the center one was way the hell out to sea when it
yeah,
came down.
that's the problem
Mhm.
though. But
That's where you almost need to know a millionaire friend with a freaking 65-foot catamaran yacht willing to let you set up between the three stages.
just find the edge of the exclusion zone and sit right by it, and boom.
You know, yeah.
Well, they had a camera on the barge, because I watched the live stream as it happened, and they had a camera on the barge. Unfortunately, they lost connection to the camera as the damn thing was landing.
Yeah, they have a habit of that happening because of
Yeah.
the violence of the exhaust right before it touches down.
Yeah, it tends to knock the camera out when it lands on the barge, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn it.
You know, you would figure that, between SpaceX and NASA, they would develop a plexiglass strong enough to withstand all that.
Well, part of it is the vibrations throughout the entirety of the hull, and and when you start jiggling electrical connections, they do tend to short out. So
Well, yes, I know. I know this as a general class amateur radio operator. I mean, I've driven trucks through basically F2 tornadoes, and yeah, I've watched my radio signal go. Yeah, are you trying to talk?
But that's where I wonder if there would be a way to levitate it to get rid of that shock potential.
There's not really any way other than doing an isolation mount, and that isolate. I mean, Jared, you were an AT. You know what an isolation mount is, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, take that principle of a shock mount, but instead of having a physical linkage, go with a type of levitation.
Well, even then, what are you going to levitate it with? Bungee cord? You're either going to have such poor video quality because of the vibration in the levitation mount, or you're going to have such vibration that the camera still loses the electrical connection to send the transmission.
Well, here's a simple solution. Why not just put the camera on a different boat nearby?
And that would work.
But then
almost.
You're not getting as nice of a upfront view.
Zoom.
Now we all know Zoom just doesn't.
If we're gonna start,
sorry, I could not hold that one long enough.
If we're gonna start talking about late 1970s PBS TV, I'm gonna leave.
No,
I don't need to be reminded that I'm old as the hills.
Jared, next time you say that, you need to say it in Lily's voice. So.
Oh God, no! Please don't.
Well, no, and if anything, it would be more like 80s and 90s Skinamax After Hours when you don't have the channel actually paid for.
Skinamax After Hours. Sit! Sorry, my inner Sam came out.
Yeah, but now with the internet, that really went by the wayside.
I mean, that was the problem, is that, Kinnison really had a good run even after he was dead and gone. He really did have a good run.
supreme.
I mean, but what's really sad is that he was a real honest person who was also a Pentecostal minister. That's the scary part of Sam Kinison.
Wait. He was a minister?
I swear to God, Jared, he was a Pentecostal minister.
He was the son of a minister, and he did start ministerial work, but he did leave it. But I mean, he wasn't like
Yes.
when he was doing his stand-up, he wasn't a Pentecostal member.
Well, no, but
he had
still.
been, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a hellfire and brimstone like
preacher.
Yeah, that's where he got his
Literally.
voice. That's where he learned his voice from.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense now.
Yes. I mean, you know, if somebody dug that fact up about George Carlin, it would not surprise me. Simply because of the truth that you can find in Carlin's stand-up.
You know, there was one thing that normally I do agree with Carlin's read on things, but there was a video that someone shared over the past couple days where I understand where he's coming from, but the example he chose I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Same here.
I hadn't seen it yet. Let's get the premise.
Well, he's talking about the softening of language. And the example he went with was actually how combat veterans from World War One era, it was shell shock. It's like right there, right in your face, really hard. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
But then the manipulation of the term, same condition, but manipulation of the term over time to battle fatigue during World War II. And what did it go to? Operational exhaustion in Korea and Vietnam. That was something he got wrong. It wasn't till post-Vietnam that the term became post-traumatic stress disorder. And and this is where I would recognize there is a difference between shell shock and battle fatigue and PTSD.
There is indeed.
One of them is an in-the-moment affliction that will pass given a time after the actual combat event. But then there's the long-term effects, which is what PTSD is.
Yeah.
Hence the term post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And post and PTSD doesn't necessarily, I mean, PTSD can show up 6 months later. It can show up years later.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing.
I mean,
And of course, it's a lot. It's a lot broader application too, because it deals with any sustained long-term traumatic instances, not
just
all,
combat.
Right.
All it takes is to be exposed to traumatic death,
right,
or the threat of traumatic death.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a kiwi in the chat. Do we have any strawberries to go with it?
No.
I got some chocolate sauce.
I quit making daiquiris years ago.
LRJ88, a bit self 1984ing, isn't it? Kind of. Like that skit from Carlin was definitely very reminiscent of what the novel 1984 really alluded to with the whole wrong think mentality. But at the same time, when someone is trying to use something even in a comedic way, if they're trying to start from a factual basis and that basis is actually wrong, I can't help but point it out. It's just part of who I am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you really wanted to look at what Carlin has said through the years up till his death, Carlin was right about so many things.
Oh,
but
of his
the very few things that he got wrong, because he got so much else right, I'm willing to overlook them and kind of chuckle at some of the ignorance that he did display when he was absolutely wrong, because everything else, even today, and I think we're past the 10-year mark of losing George Carlin.
Has it been
Are
that
we?
long?
I think it's been more than 10 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And
Actually, we're about a month away from about 2 months away from 11. So
yeah,
Wow.
and I mean, to think about it, the things that he said in the past that are still so relevant today is scary.
Oh yeah, I would say that his read on society and the changes that were taking place, and if you pay attention to more of his extended stand up, the predictions that he made of how it would play out,
Mm-hmm.
slightly over
Oh,
90%
oh,
accurate.
oh, no kidding, no kidding. I mean, it's
And
uh,
and yes, that stream should be an interesting one.
I mean, we need to sit down and we need to pick and choose and cherry pick our favorite Carlin, Kinnison, and even dare I say Andrew Dice Clay quotes,
Don't forget.
comments. One
little boy blue. Hey, he needed the money.
need money. Hickory dickory dock. This chick was such a mouth. What?
uh, well, and actually,
I mean, little Bo Peep, sheep. Yeah.
Give me
uh,
12 inches and hurt me.
That's what we need to. That's what we need to call. That's what we need to call little fun bags. Those little Bo Peep. Either
no.
that or Mary had a little lamb she kept in her backyard, and when she pulled her panties down, his woolly what got hard.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm trying to save your channel, Jared. I mean, give me credit for that at least.
I definitely say that Professor Funbags is a much more fitting moniker for her now because of the passing the entrance exam to Mensa, because it shows you should fucking know better.
Well, you can still be an idiot and get accepted into Mensa, because all they're doing is they're checking your stress levels. That's it. That's all the exam is to check your stress levels and how well you can answer those questions.
Oh, hang on. Yes, that's the one that I have to read out. I am is reportedly the shortest sentence in the English language. Could it be that I do is the longest?
I do.
Here's another good one, Jared.
No, I do definitely has lifelong implications. I will say that.
Oh, yes. Carlin's view on religion was beautiful. And this is where I have to say his role in Dogma was fucking epic.
One of the greatest movies ever.
George Carlin, I have as much authority as the Pope. I just don't have as many people who believe it.
I always like the one actually below that.
I'm completely in favor of separation of church and state. My idea is that these two institutions screw us enough on their own, so both of them
should definitely be separated.
All right.
Oh god. And Carlin, and this comes from my standpoint as an ex-Church of Christ minister. I spent a year and a half as a youth minister in East Texas. Church and state and science have no place being intermingled within the three. The science is there. The religion allows for the science and even in flat earth, and I love it when it's flat earthers go, well, it says the 4 posts and you can't stand a globe on 4 posts. Really?
Yes.
It says four posts. If I take a ball and I balance it perpendicular and I line my post up to north, south, east, and west, can I not put a basketball between those four posts if I space those four posts correctly?
Man, I miss Alan Rickman. God, I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I have this on DVD. I'm gonna have to go watch this soon.
What is that?
It's
Dogma?
it's a
Oh,
couple
it's even
Alan.
it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Good old Buddy Christ.
Oh,
Good marketing
some-
move there.
you know, Ben Affleck.
No. I think
what's
the
his
the best marketing move of that movie, Salma Hayek.
Oh, come on. You don't mean Alanis Morissette as God got you off? Jeez.
That was the last. I will say this: Dogma was the last movie that I saw and saw Selma Hayek. I'm drunk. Fully admit that right now. Selma Hayek Dogma was the last movie I saw her in before I started seeing her flash her tits and getting screwed in other movies. Now, if you really want a good movie to see Selma Hayek in, I recommend Medak Alley.
I hadn't heard of it.
That one and Frida. Those are the two you really need to see.
I just saw her in Hitman's Bodyguard. And
Yeah, well, Frida, she does some full frontal stuff, and it was really, really interesting to say the least.
Gotta love the movie Grown Ups.
You know, I really.
I mean,
After
it's kind of like. Have you guys ever seen Kids? Did y'all ever see the movie Kids?
no, and when you mentioned that, I immediately thought of an Eminem song.
Oh well, the Eminem song is based off of the movie. Let me give you that.
That's an actual line in the movie right there.
Oh yeah, I remember. And see, here's the thing. So it was around the time that movie came out that I began agreeing with the hypothesis that Adam Sandler is only making these movies and writing himself in that role, so he has an excuse to make out with the leading woman. And
Pretty much.
it goes back to, what was that? Click? Who remembers his co-star
Yeah.
in that one?
I never saw Click.
Kate
Be glad you
Beckinsale.
didn't.
It was yeah, typical Sandler movie for what he's come known for, but again, he was bagging Kate Beckinsale in that movie.
Oh, nice.
Who wouldn't?
Well, I mean, I know several guys who'd give up their left testicle to, bang Kate Beckinsale and a few others. I mean,
only if
God
she's dressed
knows,
like a.
God knows my older brother would give up both of his testicles to bang Sharon Stone.
Yeah, it's gotta be. With her, I never really saw that, but excuse me.
He was all into the full beaver mode when she flashed it during that one movie that she was in with Douglas.
Basic Instinct.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But see, though, when my choices, like my style, are the hot ones that have a brain about them, and this is where I will go towards Kate Beckinsale, Scarlett Johansson.
What about Rosario Dawson?
She's on the list.
Okay, you definitely need to see the movie Kids. It will change your mind.
In a good or bad way?
In a bad way. In a bad way.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Jennifer Connelly was on that list when she was in her heyday too. And yes, I have seen was it Requiem for a Dream?
Oh yeah, I've seen that one on X videos, yes. You gotta give credit for her because she does have a nice rack.
Yeah, you also got to remember, I was of the age where it was a question of, am I old enough to see The Labyrinth? Because that movie was wonderfully fucked up.
I was 12 when I saw that movie, and that movie kind of freaked me out, and I was like, really? That's
That
The Stratolaunch took off for its first flight.
I had a girlfriend that kept wanting to dress me up as a damn troll king.
make you look like a pop star, huh?
Oh yeah.
David Bowie.
I couldn't get out of California fast enough.
And that was back when, and that area. Hang on, where the way to get into a woman's pants was to look more like a woman than she did.
Try this. Try being in 7th grade choir and having a choir director who wants to relive their youth in the 1970s. So to commemorate that, because I could sing like both David Bowie and Bing Crosby, guess what I get to sing? With another dude. Okay. Not a duet I wanted to do in 7th grade choir. I did not want to sing with another dude. I wanted to sing with one of the girls.
Yeah, see, I think
primarily Elizabeth B, because she could hit the high notes. But
I think no one in particular has it right. Main Gun, just remember, she only wanted the cod piece.
Oh, fuck.
True enough, but even at 19, I still had limits.
At 19, I didn't need a cod piece.
All it would have taken is one Polaroid, just one Polaroid, and circulating around the platoon, and that would have been it. Life would have been over. I would have been dead. I would have to.
The platoon would have beat you out of jealousy. That's the problem.
I'd have to lap move all the way into the fucking air wing.
Oh, good Lord.
So basically what you're saying is you would have needed to upgrade.
I don't have. You got to remember, Main Gun never left the ground, so therefore it would have been an upgrade, considering the fact that Jared, you and I spent time in the aviation wings. Main Gun, on the other hand, would have gone to the shit your pants divisions.
Well, keep in mind, even in the MAG, the ordnancemen fall under the air group. The framers fall under the air group.
And all of them at one time or another have to freaking be on various forms of airframes.
Well,
trust me. There is a reason why I'm not taking an airplane out of Springfield, Missouri tomorrow to fly to Dallas. There is a reason why I'm taking the bus, and it's not money. It is simply the fact that, Jared, did you hear about the 2000 AH-63 incident with the Eisenhower? Going from the Eisenhower to Bahrain?
Okay, yeah. I remember reading that safety report.
We lost 1,000 feet in under 3 seconds. I was on that helicopter.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to fly then.
Okay, well, when I say that everybody had to change their pants, even the females, we all had to change because we all shit ourselves, literally.
It seemed like every time I picked up a damn the base newspaper at Camp Pendleton, the observation post, every time I picked up a copy of that and flipped through it, there was always a Marine chopper going down somewhere. And
Well,
no, thank you.
the funny thing was what they declared our incident as was an air pocket of a sudden downdraft that the rotors could not maintain through. And I was like, there wasn't even a freaking cloud in the sky, and you're going to tell me it was a downdraft, please?
My best friend was in artillery, 10th Marines, and they were in northern Iraq, moving from one position to another on a UH-63. Had the gun slung, the M19 or 8, 155 slung underneath the chopper, and John's watching, and he sees the crew chief run real excited to the front of the helicopter and has a very brief, very animated discussion with them, and then runs back to the center of the chopper and starts popping the emergency release on the winch. And they're still at altitude.
Whoa.
Yep. So John reaches up, grabs a hold of a handful of cargo net, and screams at everybody else to hang on. And as soon as that gun dropped, that chopper starts spinning in. And it hit hard, and a bunch of people got hurt. Nobody got killed, but a bunch of people got hurt pretty bad. What had happened was they lost the damn the U-joint on the drive shaft going back to the tail rotor.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And as soon as that gun dropped
Ours
is when
was
that
just
U-joint let go.
Ours was just a hard descent, of 1,000 feet. We were already at 5,000 feet, and we dropped to 4,000 before the pilot managed to maintain altitude again. When we landed, I actually talked to the lieutenant commander that was flying the bird. I asked him what happened, and he said he didn't know that he had to crank the blades all the way to torque position. And I was like, okay, give me a crash course on torque position. And he said, well, normally our blades are at 25 degrees. I had them all the way maxed out at 38.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that was just to get us back to 4,000 feet and maintain 4,000. Now, tell me that's an air pocket when you cannot maintain more than 4,000 feet with maximum torque to the blades.
Yeah.
Well, now you run the danger of stalling out your rotor blades.
Yeah, he ran them at max to get us back to Manama.
Jeez.
When we landed, that bird did not leave the ground for 4 days. I was in Manama for a week, and I went by the airport just about every day to go look at that bird. And they put the commander in my hotel, and we would sit down in the bar drinking dinar pints. God, I miss that bar. That was the cheapest pint of beer I had ever had in my life. And the great thing was that they had Shinerbach on tap. I never seen Shinerbach outside of Texas. To find it in a foreign country, in an Islamic country at that, was at the time I was still religious, and I was thanking God every day that I could find that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still religious now. I just don't believe that the God that man created versus what created the universe are the same two entities. What created the universe created us as an experiment to see what evolutionary changes would occur if he created something and left it alone? Would intelligence evolve?
Damn, that reminds me. I need Cheetos.
Nice.
The God of the Bible wants us to worship, wants us to praise. Okay. I'm more the scientific. I can look at things and say, yes, there's a physical law that we all have to follow, and that we all follow in our daily observations, if we're intellectually honest enough to do so. Whereas the intellectually dishonest will look at the Bible and say, nope, this is all set in stone, this is how it is, and forget the fact that there are verses in the Bible, there are verses in the Old Testament that actually say that a day to man is not a day to God.
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of people who want to espouse biblical a literal understanding of the Bible as it's written, a direct this is the word, this is what it means. And yep. I will quote frickin' Robin Williams on this everywhere. God said, "Let there be light." Metaphor for the Big Bang? No, God just went click.
Let me get. Yep. But here's the thing: is that if you look at a lot of these people who want to take the Old Testament literally, they pick and choose what they take literally.
Yep.
Because somewhere in their family tree there is a homosexual. And when they find that, they have to ignore other parts of the Old Testament and other parts of the New Testament, which is where homosexuality is an abomination to God. And it says it multiple places throughout the Old Testament, from Genesis all the way to Judges, and then again from Acts to Revelations.
Now, let me get this right. So none of y'all want to base your science on on the ramblings of late Bronze Age shepherds?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No. And I say this again, I say this as an ex-minister. I say this as an ex-youth minister. I am not a light switch flick, let there be light kind of guy. I am a guy that says God created the universe and took a 1,000,000-year break after he created the sun and the earth and the moon. He took a 1,000,000-year break because creating the earth, the sun, and the moon takes a shitload of work. You're going to want a vacation after creating the sun, the earth, and the moon. Forget about the other 8 planets and the other 500 satellites to those planets?
Oh,
how
at
many
least.
Satellites? How many satellites are around Jupiter? 20, 25?
Oh, yeah, easily a couple dozen.
Okay, all right. So you're going, Jared, if you were the mass creator of the universe, you had already created other points of light. And it takes a lot of energy out of you to create these points of light. Would you not want a vacation between creation of those points of light and the bodies that rotate around them? I mean, if you think about it honestly, it actually makes sense.
That reminds me of a story I heard about God needing a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a God's at the helm. He's steering the universe on course, and an angel walks up and says, "How you doing, God?" "Fine." "You're a little grumpy." "No, I'm not." "Yeah, you are. You just snapped at me." "When's the last time you took a vacation?" I don't know. What, 1,000 years? Yeah, maybe 2. "Fine. Let me take the wheel for a bit. You take a couple of weeks. Go on a vacation. Relax. We got it. We got it for a couple of weeks."
Mhm.
I don't know where to go. Well, what about over there? Where? There, the edge of that spiral galaxy, that little blue planet there. Look, they even got skiing. So, hell no. That's where I took my last vacation. I had a quick fling with a young Jewish girl, and they're still talking about it.
Fucking love it.
I am going to hell. I'm going to hell for laughing at that one, but I'm already hellbound anyway because I'm sitting here talking to you guys about Carlin and Kinnison anyway. So yeah, I'm not even worried about it.
Honestly,
And I know, somewhere in the darkest recesses, there is a member of my family that is listening to this back in Texas, and they're going, God, I know his voice. Where do I know his voice from? Holy crap, it's Christmas. It's the family reunion at Christmas time. Yep, that would be where you know me. I used to sing with Uncle Gene. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
honestly, if I were God, I would have done the let there be light, Big Bang, and then just let the physics and chemistry and everything else get on with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You mean like reality?
Yeah.
Like what we observe every day without freaking confusing ourselves with a bunch of men who decided to play with God's word. Yes, thank you.
Well, at least they weren't
No,
playing with something else from God.
No,
No,
because
he's
they
got
already
like commandments.
they already played with God's genitalia. I have plenty enough proof in the Bible of that.
Oh yeah. What was it? Have her wash your feet. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't actually a foot bath that he was getting.
No, it was not.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at like I'm gonna have
Well,
some fun tomorrow.
my older brother was a youth minister 10 years longer than I was, and we both entered the ministry within the same year.
One stayed, the other didn't.
Yeah, I left and did other things and joined the Navy and actually enjoyed a life of science and politics and real world experience.
Oh, the fun stuff.
I actually stood up and supported and defended the Constitution of the United States. Which is why when you look at the ban logs on AG2 Productions, you never see me banning anybody, no matter how badly I disagree with them. And I've disagreed with multitudes. I fully believe in the statement, no matter how stupid your opinion is, you have a right to voice it.
I agree, and that's where the bannable offenses are
I don't
out.
I don't even enforce bannable offenses. They
Well,
can cuss me. They can cuss me from Sunday to Monday.
well, here's where I draw the line, and this is where most of my moderators draw the line as well. If you are breaking the law and violating terms of service,
Well, if you're violating terms of service, I will ban you for it. But I have yet
Yep.
to find anybody who's really violated terms of service by saying they're raping a 3-year-old girl.
yeah, because we
You
do
know-
we do pretty good at providing a place where people like that can't get away with their
Yeah.
bullshit, so they don't want to
Yeah.
be there in the first place.
Yeah.
Do I even want to know where that screen cap is from?
Well, we were discussing the technically the fourth installment of this series, Star Trek, earlier today, with touches
Oh
into the
yeah,
third.
and that was something, Jared. I wanted to be in on that
All
so
good
bad.
things. It's
Oh
all
my
good
god.
things.
When I was listening to that, I was like, you guys missed the second the second Jax in Star Trek so hard that I just quit listening.
Well, we didn't get to go towards Ezri because here's the thing: I preferred Ezri over Jadzia mainly for one reason.
she was blonde.
No,
Ezra was blonde.
No.
Ezra was not blonde.
no. Esri is my sort of petite little smartass kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're all married to a petite little smartass. I mean, God knows I married a petite smartass. She's not 108 pounds like she was when.
You married a piece of crap?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, she heard that wrong. Thanks, Jared. Jesus H. Christ.
Hey, you did that to yourself.
Wait, no, come here, babe.
Boy.
You got it. You know what? I'm taking the damn headset out. Y'all can explain yourselves to this woman because God knows I don't need my nuts crushed into black holes. Shit.
Oh, come on. You think we would really help you in this situation?
You really think I want to be talking like the dad from the Christmas Story when the bowling ball got laid in his lap?
That would be interesting.
Ooh, I saw
Thanks a
Mirror
lot.
Esri there.
Yes. Mirror Esri was
Do I need to
quite
send
the
you this
character.
picture, Jared?
No.
No, go ahead and post it in chat.
Well, he's showing it on
oh,
screen.
yeah. Okay, now I remember. I thought she was blonde. I would have swore she was blonde.
No, she just wasn't prepared for the joining, so her character in the first few episodes came off as.
I'm thinking of the Defiance crew, that female that Jake kind of had the hots for. On the Defiant training on the was it the Reliant?
Oh no, the
The
Valiant.
Valiant. Yeah, the Valiant.
The Valiant. But it was the ship that looked exactly like the Defiant and had the same weapon layout system.
That was the one that was the I guess we could technically be an acting chief on the.
Yeah, she was the she was the one that could make me instantaneously give a Wayne's World salute the instant I saw her.
Swing.
It was swing time. Yeah. I think in my early 20s I probably would have paid to see her tits. I would have.
Probably.
I would have. Well, more than likely, in my early 20s, considering I didn't get married until I was 26. So yeah, it was one of those things. Well, actually, I got married when I was 28. I was 28 when we got married. We've been married 18 years, and I'm 46. Well, I mean, don't say the age gap here. You're gonna make me look like a pedophile.
That is not bad.
8.5 years?
Oh no, that.
My dad and stepmom are 12 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are people out there that would label me a pedophile because my wife was 19 when we got married, and I was 20.
More than label.
I was in my 20s. So yeah, there are people out there that would label me a cradle robbing pedophile.
Hey, high five for me, man.
I mean, hey. Well, considering that, okay, I knew her best friend from high school. And the only reason why I knew her best friend was because her best friend was a year and a half or 2 years behind my younger brother.
So what you're saying was you were using your brother to help fish for dates.
Oh, shit no. No. My little brother had nothing to do with this. My little brother detests me for marrying my wife. Primarily because, well, my little brother detests me for marrying my wife because my wife of my two brothers' wives,
Mm-hmm.
my wife was the only one my grandmother hugged the first time she saw her.
Interesting.
The character, by the way, was Dorian Collins, the one you like.
Yeah.
All right.
This one's for tech.
Go protect.
Let's see which one. Yes.
Clark is a female.
What
See-
is that? What does that look like? Quark went through
It is
gender
Quark.
reassignment.
It is.
Yes,
There was
Quark.
there was an episode where
That's
he
Quark, the
A
bar runner
clothed-
on DS9 on Deep Space Nine.
It's a
After,
clothed
after
female.
gender reassignment, I'm having to explain this to my wife. Hang on a second, guys. That's Quark after gender reassignment surgery.
because
That's
he was
after-
helping the Nagus.
That's after he went and had his ding dong lopped off and turned inside out and made into an artificial vagina. That's after he took hormone therapy. Yeah, it's gender reassignment surgery for you, babe.
24th century gender reassignments.
Yeah, it happens pretty quickly there. But so it is less than 10 till the hour, and with that, we do need to get going because, well, other than the stupidity going on over at NonSeq, apparently, Red is going to be going live shortly.
Is there a shit show? Is there a shit show going on at NonSec?
Let me help you. The title of it is Flattermania.
Oh,
Double header tonight.
there are liquor bottles up in the closet. I need 2 more of them if I'm going to do this.
No, you need 3 because right now it's Constable Conspicuous.
Well, I'm already 4 bottles into 100% proof or 100 proof SoCo. And if I push any more, I'm gonna end up in the emergency room.
Let's flatter to Jesus. Ozzy,
Yeah.
flatter to
Oh,
Ozzy
fuck
Jesus.
me! I'm gonna need the entire pack.
Yes, you will. Well, and with that,
No,
for those
flatter-
people who have
flatter
shown
Jesus.
up, you can go ahead and enjoy and make your decisions on where you want to go. But I do have to get going, so we will catch you all next time.